Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Season 3, Race 3, 3 and 3 makes 6, Illuminati. Give us a thumbs up if you're liking the series so far. Give me a thumbs up if you like the webcam as well. Like, give me the feedback on listening to you guys so far. It's been great. Let's just recap last race. Last race we were running at the front, and we're going to get a podium spot. We got held up by a back marker. We took a risk repairing the car in the pits when it might not have necessarily needed it, but it was, you know, it's good to be safe and consistent rather than be squished around. While that was all happening, I have now designed one new part, purely just the front wing, because I cannot afford anything else. We have continually punched up our reliability as well. As you can see, there's the extra front wing. It is average part quality spec. The car is still 9th overall on the grid, so we are definitely punching above our weight. We have signed a new sponsor, Play Sport Gaming. It's a 4-star sponsor, £450 upfront payment, bonus pool of $600,000 each race, and you get a home bonus of 2.2 times the multiplier if you're in the United Kingdom. And because this is an Asian Series Championship, we will definitely be going to the United Kingdom. I'm not being serious, just in case you thought I was a moron there for 2 seconds. This isn't, you know, American or anything like that. Anyway, so Trump, he just got elected. So we need to get 7th or above. Very doable. It is for 3 races, which is great. So we can start getting more sponsorship money coming in, and a lot of these are just starting to die out as we speak. So right now, what are we going to come? We're going to come 7th or above. Risk it for the biscuit. We've done it twice now in a row. I think we can do it. As for fit parts, let's stack Party's car with the better components yet again, with the more reliable components, I should say, because he seems to be getting out ahead when it comes to qualifying, and then is, you know, doing. But that's okay, because I got Lara's in the window, but Lara actually has a bit of clear air. Okay, so that worked itself out some weird way. Let's see what the stops. Monroe sets the fastest first sector. How are we going to go past the first sector for both cars? Both cars coming back to back in. And we go first sector, where are you? 0.2 down. Party seems to be 0.007 down, despite having a worse set of tyres in terms of, you know, being in the range of being too high for the tyre temps. But that's okay. He seems to be catching Lara quite significantly here, and he's now 0.112. Down 0.2 seconds down that second split. Lara seems to be back up. This is gonna drive me nuts, isn't it? Trying to get these two sorted. Make sure that the track is still good, so we're gonna let them do those laps because it looks like it's gonna remain dry for the rest of the session. Go in a fast forward mode. Lara goes last. Party comes 6th. Not great. Not great for anyone. So we want to send them out, not behind each other, because I want to make sure I get them both right as they come around. It's going to be very difficult to kind of manage that and make sure the cars around them have space. But yeah, this is going to be terrible. Party's in 17th. Lara is in 20th spot. We will have, what, one more lap to do it in? No, this is actually 2 minutes to get around the entire track. So we have to send them out straight away, don't we? Yes, we do. Tyre choice, softs. Okay, setup was better. Lara, send out straight away. Tyre choice, softs. They need to get around in less than 2 minutes, which they should. And I'm glad Party goes first, because Party's definitely been the better person doing the laps in terms of, you know, making sure he gets up. So I'm happy that Party's got the clean air and not necessarily Lara. And if you look at it, it looks like both of them are going to be in the air. What I might do is I might stop. I can pause by hitting shift, by hitting spacebar, and while that's all happening, I'm just going to watch them. Cool down a little bit. Too cold. Bring them up for Lara. Okay, we're going to have to pull you back up. We're going to pull you down a little bit. I'm not even worrying about brakes right now. I'm just worrying about the tyre temp. And we are doing this step by step by step. They're almost in that window. Got to go back down a little bit. Back down a little bit. Go back on the aggressive a little bit. He's rising. So that's a trick you can do here. You can literally continue to pause it to make sure they're in that window. Look at that. I've caught Lara just before her lap starts purely because of pausing it and pausing it. And they're both perfect except the brakes are overheated. But you know what? Looking at it from this point of view, the brakes are determined by how fast they're braking. And if the corner's just before they start their session, how can you change that? How can you stop them from doing that at all? I don't know, maybe it has like an implication. Maybe we can do something to fix that, whether it be better brakes. But here we go. So we're 17th and 20th. We're in a really dire spot. This is the worst spot we've been in any qualifying session. This is going to be our last lap. Looks like most cars are in the pits. Some are still doing their laps. Both have open free air, which is what we didn't have in that last session. As you can tell by the minimap over there, we've sent them both in the optimum window. We're going to put it to fast forward mode so we can quickly get through to this part. But Party seems to be down by 0.25. Lara seems to be down by 0.13. So Lara is definitely faster in the first sector of the track. How are they going to come out? Party does his personal best, 0.2. He's only 0.2. Lara is only 0.07. So less than 1 millisecond away from the leaders. This is actually going to be an outstanding lap. Because the track grip is at its peak, this is where it's all happening right now. And Party moves up to 4th. Lara moves up to 3rd, which is going to put Party back into 5th. But we are both in the window, 3rd and 5th position. That is a great result for us, both in the pointy section of the field, both in the top 6. We have not done that before. There are still cars to qualify. We are definitely going to wager our money provided this session goes to plan. We've got 2 cars to go. So at worst, Lara can be bumped back to 5th, but I'm pretty certain that's not going to happen. Another qualifying session, and everyone finishes up their session. We get back on the podium in terms of, qualifying. We're going to have our interview with the people. We're going to be, doing a Sebastian Vettel, having a bit of a laugh, talking about the good times. And, yeah, couldn't be less satisfied with that. Let's have a look. Look at the gap. Behind us, there is a 0.3 second gap. So we did a really good job despite having the second worst car on the grid. Anyway, you don't necessarily need all the new components. You don't need the new parts. You don't need the optimum engines. You don't need any of that. You just need a good car to go with. So super soft tyres. Because qualifying trim does not count, we're just going to have to stick with that setup. And there's nothing to add for the mechanics components. That's unfortunate. Setups, both great. Oh, how many laps do we want to do? It's a 16 lap race. We can go 13 laps. Now, because last race we were able to sneak through with 0 mechanical issues, but we did have to heal Party. I strongly and utterly believe we will not have to be any more reliant in terms of fixing components. So I'm just going to plan for a one-stop race, and we can always adjust it if we do want to. So I'm going to stick to 8 laps for Lara, and I might do 7 laps for our boy Party, because why do I want to do that? Because I can always put him on a larger fuel load later in the race. But the good thing about this is that, you know what, if we're going to do 7, we may as well do 8, and what, 8 and 8, that's not going to work. We'll do 9, we'll get the extra lap out instead. What this means for the tyre choice, because they last 9 to 11 laps, we can stress them straight off the bat. And you know what I might do? I might actually put Lara to attack, and go to high engine motors high. I don't want them to be sacrificing their fuel too early on. Once they get their rhythm, I'm going to push it immediately back, because I want to make sure they get to that lap, 8, 9 window. Because that's where we're getting open air. Once everyone else pits, which has been relatively earlier than us, that's when we get open air, and that's when we start, pulling everyone else in. But we are going red light, red light, red light, and drops to green, and we're off. Lara gets off to a great start, already moves up into second position. Party moves into fourth, can possibly move into third. I'm actually going to put them both on overtake mode just to get through this part. And the two of them are actually going to be fighting for position. Party and Lara, second and third. There are 0 team orders. I can put team orders if I wanted to. As you can see here, team orders allow teammate through. I will not be doing that. I want them to race. And Party now is all over the back of Holtz. He doesn't get a good run out of there, and Lara is going to come back on the fight. Now, we don't want them to touch. We don't want them to have any issues with one another. But this race is live, and we are looking semi-competitive at the moment. Provided we can keep this pace up, we are acting a bit of a safety car because Holtz is starting to walk away, but everyone else is starting to get behind us. So with Party's car, I might start to put him onto the medium engine slot, start to slow the rest of the field up. We've already used 12% of our tyres in the first lap. Now, technically speaking, that's not even when they're starting to get into that higher heat temperature. Lara now has a bit of a gap. How's Party going? He's not doing too bad. He's not doing too bad. He's been relatively smooth. He gets around there. He does, he's doing a good job for us so far. So let's put his tyres back on a push. We might also do the same with Lara's. We might put her to medium. And they're both on medium now, so we want them to both go the distance. Now that Lara has a bit of a gap, I don't mind if Holtz gets away. We're not racing Holtz. If Holtz blitzes away, that's not where we want to be. She's got a much better car than us, and we just want to be in the window, doing our stops, sticking to our strategy, 7, 8, 9 laps, and pitting when we need to. Tyres are already down to 25%. They seem to be absolutely peeling away from the cars, so I'm going to put them both back onto neutral, just so they've got the survivability, and we're going to catch them back up. If we get down to 5 laps and we've still got plenty of meat, that's when we start to really push these tyres and do the work. But Party's actually pulling away from Flores. He's doing a great job for us. He's not only, I thought he was going to be a bit of a backup between him and Flores, but he didn't have to do that. He's just picked his own gap, kept a safety buffer between him of 1 second. Holtz is starting to push away. That's okay. That's not a problem. Tyres are starting to be a bit of a problem. So Lara moving down to conservative mode. Same as Party. They've used 34% for Lara in her 2 and a bit laps, while Party still has 6 laps to fuel. So we want the fuel to level up with the tyres. We don't want to get into a pits. We don't want to get to the end of our session or end of our stop strategy and do a pit stop where we've got so much more fuel than the tyre wear, because that's, you're not optimizing your speed throughout the track if you're doing that. It's about getting them both down, and the optimum range is down to 25% before they start to really peel away, and the fuel obviously down to 1 lap or less, or 0.001 if you can possibly do it. We've done it a few times, but that would be idealistic. So fuel burn's going well, 5 laps. In fact, I might put Party on the conserve mode. Fuel is going well. I don't want to, I could start to push with the engine mode, but I want them to stick to that one-stop strategy, and that's only going to work if the fuel isn't pushed out as far as it needs to be at the moment. So that's why we're keeping to this medium mode strategy. Let everyone else do their thing. As you can see, a lot of people starting to become conservative with their tyres, and a lot of people starting to still continue to push with their engine. Party now acting as a bit of a backup or a buffer. That's okay too. We're going to put Lara on to backup mode as well. Get those tyre temperatures down. At the moment, they're not in the middle. In the middle would be just about there. And they're at a very high blistering rate. That's because the track is 27 degrees and only getting hotter. The track grip is also increasing. We don't have any rain forecasters, so the track grip will continue to climb. I just can't believe the fact that these guys are able to keep this gap. In fact, not only that, Flores is caught into the back of Party, but there's still a gap behind that, and that's because his stats are very high in the fields of smooth, driving the car straight, cornering. His overtaking is like the worst stat he has. So provided he stays out ahead, he'll be doing the right job for us. How are we looking? Lara down to 50% of tyres, so we only have 25% buffer left. Do I want to change our strategy? Not so much. Let's just keep going and seeing how we're going. How we're pushing with those tyres. I might put her fuel up, I might put it to high just to balance it out, and then run a much higher tank of fuel, and then when we come out on the new set of softs, push them down to a more conservative strat from the start rather than burn them out at the start to make sure we get our grid spots as they currently are. So we are in the right window, doing practically everything correct. Holtz now is a 12-second gap, obviously pushing her car. Where's the team at who's De Graaf back in 10th position? So we're doing a really great job at the moment. Party's doing his job. He might be holding up Holtz Flores a little bit, but that's okay. That is okay. And I'm surprised that... I'm not actually that surprised. Party's got an extra lap... Ooh, an extra load of fuel on board. So it's not that big of a surprise that he's slowing down a little bit, because Lara is pushing on that strategy, while Party has still got a very, you know, he's got his tank of fuels, he's got quite a bit of fuel there, and at the moment, has everyone, look, quite a few people pitted. So we finally get taken over by DeWolf, that's okay, so we're going to go back up into overtake mode. As for Lara, currently coming first. How is she over... Holtz has been able to pit and come out and still been behind Lara. So despite the fact that they're going to do a two-stop strategy, yeah, that's happened. So Holtz has pitted, come out in second position. We didn't catch Holtz. Holtz pitted on a fuel... pretty much on the fresh set of tyres. And currently being burnt away. Now that the tyres are starting to smooth out, they're at 37%. Fuel, we're probably only going to get one more lap of fuel around, so let's start to burn them. Let's really burn them. Let's see if we can put a bit of a gap on Holtz. How's our boy Party going? He can do one more lap at least before his tyres start to incinerate. So, different strategies for different peeps. Larson's still going around. He's now in 4th. He will be pitting at the next lap, which is what Lara will also be doing. We didn't get that car exactly in the window. It's going to be down to about 25% of pit time when we come around, but the fuel's going to probably be about 0.5 when we go on the pit. But Holtz isn't gaining on us. Holtz, once Holtz is behind us, she's not really, you know, pressuring us for position. So what are we going to do? We're going to go, how many laps of fuel do we need? We need 9 laps of fuel. And we're going to go with the durability laps. Now, that's 8 to 10 laps. Provided that we put them on a conservative mode, we will be able to do that. Part-wise, we're looking fine. There is no risk there. We're going to go to a fast strategy. It's going to be a 9-second stop. How's our boy Party going? His tyres are working really well. Sitting in 3rd position still. Doing a great job for the team. Fuel burn is going around well. So when he comes back around, might put him into conserve now. When he comes back around, we'll put him in the pits, and he should be... the fuel burn should be really good. Lara is going to go into the pits at the rate of 0.5, which we estimated. If Party goes around now on that high strategy with 0.7 fuel left, he should be fine as well. Let's go to neutral. It was using about 10% of tyre wear when we were on push mode. Look at that, Lara comes out in front of Party as well. So Lara is driving exceptionally well. To have that big of a gap to be able to come out ahead of Party like that, she's done excessively well to do that. Let's let the cars sort themselves out and let Lara drive as she does with normal driving style and normal engine mode. She's not getting away from Party at all, and because I don't want Party to be pulled up, I might just put her on the high overtake mode, because she does have excess fuel. Let's put it into overtake mode completely. I don't want Party to be pulled up while he goes in the pits. So how are we looking? We're going to go to soft tyres, and he seems to be able to get more life out of them, because as you saw with Lara, her estimated laps were 8 to 10. His is 9 to 11, so he has better strats in terms of his stats for his smoothness. So that's where that comes from. Fast mode as well. Fuel options, 8 laps. And he'll be coming in as well for that stop. I'm surprised Party was able to catch, despite Lara being on fresh tyres. Party has been able to catch straight off the bat. Let's get it to go to backup mode now and to high mode with the engine, which is also going to be less than fuel. Let's watch Party's stop here. Party is stopping for fuel, gets 9. Great stop, good stop. Pit stop, 9 seconds. You got to be happy with that. He has excess fuel. They always give 1 lap of extra fuel, and the time that I sprung it to be 1 less lap of fuel, I reckon it will ruin the car somehow. I reckon they'll put 1 less lap of fuel when they should be doing that. But anyway, I'm sure you guys have caught on to my series when you've picked up that they've put in an extra load of fuel every time, but you know, it's neither here or there. So Lara, we just want her to keep going around. Conservative mode. Put him into conserve mode. No, sorry, we've got Lara in backup mode. Where is the stops coming out? DeWolf is 6 seconds and currently on the same strategy by the looks of it. Holtz will have to stop 1 more time. 16-second gap. She'll possibly come out the front of Lara. That's okay. We're not racing against Holtz. We're racing against everyone else. I forgot to check Party's components. He's looking fine. No need to stop for him. There was no need to even look. He had more reliable parts than Lara in the first place. That's why I didn't need to check when Lara pitted the lap before. But excess fuel, still got plenty to burn. And yeah, by putting in an extra lap of fuel by mistake or by glitch, I have to burn it out to make sure we're getting the as fast as possible times as we can. Because, you know, 1 lap of extra fuel equals 0.25 of a lap, as you would have seen when you click on that pit stop. When you go to pit stop, fuel options, 0.282 of a lap slower when you have that extra lap of fuel. So Party doing his job, sitting in there nicely. Lara sucking up her fuel as well. So when they cross the line, they both have an extra lap. What is DeWolf doing? DeWolf currently has a neck brace around his neck, so he probably has negative stats from that. His tyres are at 52%, so he'll definitely have to pit. There is no way those tyres, burning up to about 10% a lap, are going to stick out the rest of this race. Holtz comes in the pit, brings out the medium set of tyres. Let's look out where she comes out of. Is she going to come out ahead? Yes, she does. The way that pit works is that it looks... The lane isn't as long because you got to go around that longer hairpin. She comes out. We're not even going to try to tackle her. We don't want to push. We don't want to be breaking any lap records today. We just want to be consistently going around the track, keeping at our own pace. It might be a bit of a boring strategy because we're not trying to break the car here or do the fastest lap. We might try to do the fastest lap near the end of the race once we have much less fuel on board. But right now it's just about consistency. And we are actually catching DeWolf. It looks to me like between the two sandwich here, the sandwich of the Dragon Team Racing, or Dragon China Team Racing, seems like if we push tab, there is a 5-second gap and 2-second gap. It's just consistently sitting there. So DeWolf not really benefiting at the moment on either driver. I want to put conserve back into Lara. As you can see, her temps are gone below into cold, so they'll start to grain over. They'll start to deteriorate faster because they're too cold. So let's get them back in that window by putting into conserve mode. Track grip continues to climb. Wolf comes into the pits. He's going to come out. You know what? He might even come out behind Flores, who just set the fastest lap. How far is Flores behind us? 8 seconds. Wolf comes out ahead though, 8 seconds behind. If he starts to threaten, we will start to push the cars, but possibly not. It looks like the fuel burn's starting to get just in the right window. Put it down to medium. I will recheck that when she crosses the line. She has 4 and a bit laps to go, so does Party. Tyres 60 and 70%. Doing a fabulous job. Holtz already out and about. Cannot fault her drive at all. But technically, if Holtz comes first, she'll get 10 points. Lara will get 6, Party will get 4. So we lose nothing towards the team coming first, except if they do the fastest lap of the race. We're going to try and do the fastest lap of the race just at the end. Lara comes by. She has 4 laps to go. So a little bit of excess fuel, so I might just burn it a little bit. Not too much. Munro does the fastest lap of the race. Munro coming in 6th position. The main thing is we are going to get our bonus. I'm glad we didn't go for the first slot, because we would have just missed out at this rate, unless Holtz has some sort of a technical issue. Speaking of technical issues, let's have a look at our condition of our parts. Looks like the front wing and suspension is starting to deteriorate, but nothing to be concerned about. I feel like we'll have enough to get around on. How are we looking? Holtz is going to come back in. Let's go back in so we can start to hear the sound of the cars as they drive by. I may put this on 2 times faster, just so we start to watch it, but I will put it back down to 1 because I'm critically analysing each race to make sure we're getting around. As for Party, Lara gets around 3 laps of fuel. Well, that's exactly how much she has. So let's go. She's in high mode. Party currently being caught. At what rate is he being caught? 3 seconds. 3.2. 3.1. 3.1 again. When he comes back around, he only has a little bit of excess fuel. I don't know why that message keeps coming up, because technically, you know, you've got to get to lap 16 and do that lap. And we want to make sure we're at the... We know that we're at. Park condition, 25%. It looks a little bit troubling. We don't want to stop though. Could we stop for Lara? 16 seconds ahead, plus lane time. Let's do it if she starts to really fall behind. But with 3 laps to go, no point to doing it. I don't want to risk her position. I don't want to risk a pit stop issue where a mechanic slips over or the stop is excessively slow when it starts to push out. So again, this might have been a little bit of a boring race, but it's been consistent. So now, I actually want to try and punch out the fastest lap. I'm going to go to attack mode for both and see how we go doing that. I'm going to do the same for Party. Party is currently under a lot of pressure from DeWolf. Now that we've gone into the optimum mode, maybe, you know, we won't have that issue, but they're pulling him in. They're pulling him in at the end of this race. If Lara does not get the fastest lap on that lap, I'm going to just get her to go back into conserve mode and get her to go around and just finish this race. But how is she looking? She's down on sector 1. She's not even doing a personal best. So let's go back down to medium now. There's no point to keep going around at that rate. As for tyres, his tyre temp isn't coming up yet, is it? But he's put a bit of a gap back onto the Wolf, which is great. It's got to cancel for her. You just have to complete your last lap. How's his lap times going? As for pace, he's 2.7 seconds faster than the leader at the moment, doing that race pace. We're going to have to put him back onto medium. How's Force? He's on attack mode, but his tyres are into conservative. And we can keep attacking with those tyres. Now, we've got enough of a gap between us and the Wolf to just keep at that window while Lara just drives around, not damaging the car, both in conservative mode, engine mode low, driving style is on backup. Party has he doesn't really have a gap. I'm going to have to keep pushing him. I'm going to have to keep willing him along and telling him on the radio to get his arse in a gear and just to finish in the third. We can't risk, you know, pulling back the car enough for a last minute lunch from the Wolf. I might put the tyres into push mode. As you can see, Wolf's tyres are in much better shape. They're at 40%, but he's still driving around very conservatively. Lara definitely got this on pace, 20% of the tyres. Party down to 28. It looks like we are going to be right in that window. Look at that. Look at that fuel. Low fuel, 0.1. We've gone back into conserve mode. Tyres are at neutral. He should be able to finish with that amount of fuel. 0.01 laps of fuel as he crossed the line. That was a great race from our team. Second and third. Nowhere near the fastest lap of the race. But you know what? That's not a bother. Today, it is our day. We are both on the podium. We are competitive in our season. Season 3, race 3. Let's get this into fast forward mode and wrap this race up. How did everyone else go? Parks, last position, has a mechanical issue. DeGraff finishes 18th. Cruz, who was competitive last race, finishes back in 17th. So nothing else changes. This has been race 3 of Season 3, or Season 3 with Race 3, however you want to see it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please give us more comments. Hit that thumbs up button. Keep telling me what you like about the series. Tell me what you don't like about the series, and I will keep adjusting to what you guys want to see. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you in round 4. This has been Spot the Aussie. Hit that subscribe button. Check it out next time.